Adam, you won't believe this. You won't believe this.
What won't I believe?
Impact Wrestling beat NXT in the ratings.
I'm sorry, what?
Sort of.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is As the Buckle Turns, ZOP Gaming's #1 wrestling podcast. I'm Adam.
I'm Tim. And Adam, I don't know why you say it's the #1 wrestling podcast. It's the only wrestling podcast on this channel.
Hey, those are technicalities that I don't even care about.
Yeah, you're just happy it's Saturday.
Yes, I am. It's Saturday. It's a wonderful day, and I'm going to try to get this up as soon as possible right after we record, because it is, noon? It's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
All right.
And one of our predictions goes live at 7?
Something like that. I will try to get this up as fast as possible. So,
Tuesday, it goes live.
No, it's not that bad. I'm not that bad anymore.
No. Thursday, when we're recording next week's episode, it goes live. It goes up.
Okay, I'm not... No, it's not that bad.
2 weeks from now, Christmas Eve, it goes live when we're recording 2 weeks episodes.
All right, fair enough.
It's like 2 weeks, sense. It finally goes up. We already know the results.
Yeah, all the results. We've already uploaded the results before the predictions. All right. Anyway, first of all, we do have to have some bad news. A icon within the industry of entertainment passed away very recently. Tiny Lister.
Who's that? Who's that?
From wrestling, you might know him as Zeus.
Who's that?
He fought against Hulk Hogan?
No.
You might know him as,
Zeus from No Holds Barred?
Yes. Well, that too. And if you've seen the movie Friday, yes, that big guy.
Yeah, he passed away. I can't remember what the cause was.
I actually refuse to kind of look that up right now.
I can't remember. I think it was COVID, actually.
I have no idea.
There was apparently a death recently that, I think it was actually him. His manager said he seemed to have the symptoms of COVID.
Maybe.
They could have been. I'm not sure it was him or someone else, but I could be wrong.
Of course you could be. Or you could be right. This is Schrodinger's podcast here. You're both wrong and right at the exact same time. Somebody will say something in the comment section about how we're both horribly wrong and we both are horrible people.
Well, someone should definitely correct you that how you're using Schrodinger's cat really badly right now.
Hey, you know what? Whatever.
You're just trying to goat someone to comment on one of these
podcasts. Please
that's
comment.
That's all you're trying to do is
I don't care if it's a hate comment at this point or a positive comment, as long as it's not one of those, hey, hot girls at this address, check it out.
By hate comment, he means hating on us, not actual hate speech comment.
Yeah, please don't do that. You will violate so many terms of services for not only Zop Gaming.
We will take you to Zop Gaming Supreme Court.
No, there is no such thing as the Zop Gaming Supreme Court.
Well, listen, we can agree to disagree, but you're wrong on this one. We had this argument last week. Anyway.
No. What it is the Supreme Zop Gaming Court.
No.
Come on.
No.
Jesus.
But yes, we'll sue you in
exactly
in Zop Gaming Court if you do a hate speech comment. Yeah. But hate against us,
go for it, bring it on.
And but by the way, by hate against us, you won't. That really means Adam.
It's you too.
No, this is Adam. Everyone loves me.
Anyway, we got some good news though.
Wait, since when do we do good news on this podcast?
Well, it happens here and there. We have to say congratulations to Becky and Seth Rollins.
Oh, you kind of lost me on Seth, but I was happy. I was there for Becky.
Yes. The little one has been born, and I don't have their name right here either.
Rue
Rollins? I can't believe it. Rue. RR. Double R.
Rue. Roux, if I remember correctly.
So, not the thing that you make soup out of?
No.
Even though a good roux is a wonderful base for a soup.
Keys, just so you know, how not to spell Becky with an R. Brecky.
Brecky. Actually, I kind of like her being called Brecky now. I don't know why. Brecky Lynch. Brecky Lynch is the man.
It's Roux. Roux.
Okay.
Last name, because I don't know Seth Rollins' actual real last name.
Yeah.
And technically, it could be Becky's real last name.
It could be.
Because they're not married yet.
They're not married yet. That's true.
But
anyway, congratulations, Seth and Becky. You guys, even though you have no on-screen chemistry between the two of you, you guys clearly, through public media, are showing that you're having a great time together. And I hope you guys raise this kid to be the greatest pro wrestler ever, or become the best, backstage manager within pro wrestling ever. Even better than I'm trying to find a really Dusty Rhodes as a backstage booker. Maybe.
Apparently,
yes.
Apparently, it means the name means potato in French. Apparently.
Oh my God, little potato! Oh, that's so cute. That is actually super cute.
There's also, I found a website talking about from wrestling that was talking about it, and this is going through. And then it starts going through like Johnny Depp's character, Chocolate was called Roux. From there, also Roux from Hunger Games. It's just kind of going through prop me. I'm just like,
all right,
okay.
Maybe Becky is a huge Hunger Games fan.
And it could be. She is a nerd. We know that much.
That's true. That's true.
If you don't believe me, go watch her. I think it's Comic-Con where she marks out about her little action figure with the hat, and she's just,
don't blame her.
And she's marking out. You just watch AJ Styles, who's with her, going like, "Wow, she is a total nerd." Like, so am I. But like, wow, she is really a nerd.
In his head, he's just screaming, "Nerd!"
And he's like, probably also screaming in his head, like, "If I wasn't married and had kids, yes, I'd be all over this. But
nah.
I am married. I don't have to worry about that." No.
Anyway, we gotta let's get right to the results for Wargames.
Wargames.
NXT Takeover.
Wait, why would we talking about a movie that's
no,
decades old?
No, not that one. This is the NXT Wargames based upon the old WCW match Wargames.
Wait,
2 rings, a big cage, and 8 people getting in the ring?
Yeah. Wait, you actually watched the WWE product pay-per-view? How dare you?
I didn't.
Okay. Making sure.
Yeah.
Because we are on a streak here
of not watching WWE product for quite some time.
The last takeover I watched was SummerSlam's takeover, which was not the best takeover.
I don't think I even watched that one.
Yeah, you're on a longer streak than I am.
Yeah.
You watched In Your House one though, didn't you?
Nope.
Yeah, wow, you're really on a. Wait, so did you not? Was the last one you watched was the WrestleMania?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. WrestleMania weekend was the last time I actually watched any WWE product.
Damn.
Outside of clips and that's
In Your House should have been the last one I watched because the one at SummerSlam was not as good. Even though I've heard good things about the one where Finn and Kyle O'Reilly were in the main event and they broke each other's mouths.
They actually beat each other up.
Yeah, wasn't bad. But yeah, I had a feeling that this War Games was not going to be the best. Apparently,
yes.
Main event War Games was really good. Apparently, the storyline for Johnny Gargano. Who were those in those matchups? Damian Priest and
Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff was actually a good one. It was and Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher.
I also heard that Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes was a 5-star masterpiece telling the greatest story that has ever been told.
Yeah, sure it was, because I've heard a lot of people who have been groaning over after the blindfold match were groaning that this feud wasn't over.
I also heard that they took a lot of drugs. The people who are giving that 5 stars, they enjoy their crack a little too much.
Yeah, but yeah, so we'll go over it really quickly. I do have this comment on the women's War Games matchup, but we'll do that last just because that's.
Oh, I was gonna say because that's the match that kicked off the show.
Yeah, but I want to save to talk about. Let's go over everything else because.
All right, so the second match of the evening was Tommaso Ciampa versus Timothy Thatcher.
Apparently, these two just beat the hell out of each other.
But for a good 17 minutes.
Yeah. And Tommaso Ciampa won, which was not a surprise.
Yeah, whatever.
Adam was a surprise for Adam because he picked that one wrong.
I know.
Giving me a victory right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one matchup in our quest for the most matchups to see who gets to pick one matchup on Wrestle Kingdom's entire 2-night card.
Yep.
For both people.
Yes.
Giving me a victory there. So I'm happy with that one. But what was the next matchup after that?
That is the strap match between Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes.
Which again, another victory for me for that matchup.
Yep, moving on.
But yeah, there's nothing really to talk about because everyone I haven't heard that this matchup was terrible, but I also heard it basically became the bathroom break if people were going to need to go to the bathroom.
I don't blame them.
But I don't. Yeah, people were not thrilled about this matchup. Having a non-matchup in this feud.
Nope.
But then moving on to the North American Championship title matchup, a triple threat.
Yes.
And we both got this one wrong.
Totally wrong.
I picked Leon Ruff to retain. You picked Damian Priest to win. And Johnny Gargano, a 3-time North American champion now.
What is wrong with NXT? I can't believe that they did not choose my picks.
I was just surprised that they did another title change so quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's not the typical, you have 3 guys who you can keep your exchanging the belt back and forth because they're so good. Leon Ruff really won it because Damian Priest interfered in it.
Right.
So it seems like having Johnny win it back so quickly just kind of devaluates Leon Ruff is now a transitional champion.
Exactly.
Just to do the first 3-time NXT North American champion when Johnny was the first 2-time champion.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Oh, well, I mean. And they're moving on. They're not even following up Damian Priest with being the next challenger for
No.
Johnny because he's now in a feud with Karrion Kross from this past NXT, who's returned.
It would be better to put all 3 of them into a program then, that Damian Priest becomes the natural number 1 contender for that belt.
Yeah.
But Karrion Kross wants Johnny Gargano. He doesn't care about the belt.
No, he wants... No. Basically, the reason why they're doing this feud now with Karrion Kross is because they need a victory for Karrion Kross to come back looking strong after his... not so strong matchup with Keith Lee because he tore his shoulder early in the matchup and it just limited what he could do.
Yeah.
Leading to a very boring matchup for Keith Lee, who doesn't have boring matchups. And just Karrion Kross, who I haven't been impressed. His matchup with Tommaso at Takeover in your house was I was expecting it.
Yes.
To happen, but I'm just not as impressed as everyone seems like it's Killer.
It's Karrion Kross
or Killer Kross. Like, I see what people are talking about, the potential, but when I'm watching his matchups and what he's doing, I'm not seeing it coming through.
It's funny. I think
everyone's blinded by that awesome intro.
Yeah, he should be booked and presented the same way that Lance Archer is booked and presented. As this dude who just beats people up. Yeah. And you're like, we're going to check in with Karrion Kross here, and he's beating somebody up in the locker room.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? And he's like, because I was bored.
Yeah.
They looked at me. They looked at me cross.
I want to say the guy's good and he has a bright future, but I'm just not seeing the way they've been booking him since.
Right.
And now with the injury, they have to even further improve that. And even given he squashes Priest whenever they have that matchup, it's not going to be impressive to me because I know what they're going for to build him back up. So when he does get a NXT title shot, matchup, he'll look strong.
Right.
But if you have Balor still the champion, you can't have him go in there and crush Balor. But that'd be the way to make him look strong.
You could book that match between Balor and Cross.
Yep.
To be kind of the same way that a Mysterio and Giant match, Mysterio Big Show match could be booked, where Finn stays out of the way, like because of his speed, he's able to keep dodging, but he's not able to actually do damage to Karrion Kross.
True.
And then anytime that that Kross gets his hands on him, just hits him pretty hard, but then there's no you get one good hit from Kross, and then Finn is out of the way again. And then and that's how you book it until finally Kross just gets his hands on him and just does not let him get away. And it's just one big slam after another, to the point that you're like, can someone stop this?
Finn he's not that much taller than Finn though.
Oh God.
Finn is 5'11". Karrion Kross is 6'4". There is
that's a 5-inch height difference.
There is a height difference, but Mysterio versus Big Show are two different.
Yeah, but you can still show that really Finn's big advantage is his speed.
Yes, but
it's not his strength.
But see, the thing is, though, I won't be surprised if they take the belt off of Finn before they
put somebody that you can basically sacrifice in there instead.
Not only they sacrifice, but because I really think what they're trying to say, they want to save and keep Finn as strong as possible, so when they can do Finn versus Volter.
Yeah.
Because that was what they were kind of building towards before the pandemic and everything. And I think that's what they want to do when they do Takeover, NXT UK Takeover Ireland. Or whatever they were calling it.
Takeover in that spot.
They were calling it.
In that back parking lot.
But it was going to be in Ireland.
It's now going to be in a Belfast parking lot.
So, which I think is smart because you don't want him to lose to Karrion Kross, even if it was a non-dominant loss, but he just loses. They're still kind of similar dominance characters, and then have him go and then beat Volter, it just doesn't add up.
Yeah,
it won't work. For it to compute, the better matchup would be to have Finn drop the belt through shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Not shenanigans, through a triple threat matchup. So he doesn't take the pinfall.
I still like the idea of shenanigans.
You
should have a character come out named just wearing a shirt of "I'm Shenanigans," and you're like, what? And because of that, the roll up happens.
I know what it is.
What?
If you're gonna do it, to take the belt off him, either you have a triple threat match, which you still do this finish in the same way, so Pin doesn't take the pin. Or even if you want to do the pin, so he still kind of puts one over, you have Volter cost him the match.
Yeah, and then he goes into a program with Volter right away.
He still looks. It took Volter for him to lose. He's still putting someone over in the way, unlike a Charlotte Flair victory, who came back to NXT and didn't put anyone over.
Not at all.
But you're setting up Volter and Finn, and so you know where that's going.
I like that.
But anyway, so it's As I think we were talking about this North American Championship, who went completely off, which is
of course
because you show the point of this takeover.
So the main event,
yes,
Wargames match.
This is where you got your only point.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
The Undisputed Era defeats the antivirus company.
It was
McAfee,
the Kings of New York, Kings of NXT. The king of NXT's antivirus software, McAfee.
Yes, McAfee.
In a brutal matchup.
Yes, I do have to say much respect to Pat. The fact that he was still selling the day after on his own program by wearing a neck brace.
But
Thank you.
But not just that, but like, from what everyone's been saying about McAfee's performance in there, it's like the dude is making all of NXT look bad because of how good. Like, he's not the best wrestler. But
No.
what he's doing in ring right now,
I know.
compared to how long he's been training, is kind of sad.
Okay, remember before this, anytime they had a celebrity come in for matches, where everyone's like, "Oh crap,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a carry match,"
Yeah.
and then Stephen Amell comes along, and you're like, "That wasn't a total carry."
No.
You're showing that Pat just came along and made all of them look foolish.
Yeah.
because the man sold. The man actually made things look good.
I think if Stephen Amell didn't have Arrow to record and he could have trained consistently like a normal pro wrestler would have,
Yeah. Probably would have showed up even better.
he would have shown up a lot better. And then when he had his match against the Fallen Angel at
Christopher Daniels.
All In, he would have been even better.
Yes.
But because he's a TV star,
Even though that match at All In was good.
he's got. But Steven says he was starstruck. Like they were warning, like, don't go all, and he was gassed for the rest. And you can tell that while as good as Steven looks in that matchup, you can definitely tell if you're paying attention to it.
Chris was carrying him.
Chris was walking him through, and even Steven says, I got caught up in that thing that newbies get, and he was gassed, and Chris carried me through it and helped me through it, which goes to show you, how good Christopher Daniels actually can make someone look when.
That's why I really do enjoy the fact that he is the, if you want to say it, the leader of the backstage.
Yeah.
For AEW.
He's one of the lead producers, trainers.
Yeah.
But
like he really is like talent relations is his title.
Yeah, you're right.
Derp.
That's right. He's that guy. But like, yeah, because he's just that. He's really good. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing it for so long.
Right.
But McAfee he's better than his matchup against Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has in all the spots. And then Kyle O'Reilly is the one who got the pinfall victory here.
Yep.
Something tells me they're pushing. And according to NXT, when he came out to interrupt Finn after what's his name, Pete Dunne interrupted Finn in the opening matchup. That apparently a buddy of yours stopped watching after 5 minutes because it was unwatchable.
Yeah, he was bored.
Which is ironic because you have 3 top talent in there.
I know, but he did not see a point to what was going on.
Because they fell into you have a promo open the show that WWE does. And you don't need to.
No.
Especially when you have Finn come back out later on and Dunne attack him. By the way, Pete Dunne being the one to take the belt off of Finn. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool for that.
I'm cool with it.
So that would be a great way set up for Kyle O'Reilly taking it off of Pete Dunne.
Yes.
That would be cool. But anyway, but it was a great matchup with good stuff there. Awesome. Like no one had any people were questioning McAfee and how he's going to look in this, and people were just saying no, he was a standout in this matchup.
Yeah, he was.
Everyone stood out in this matchup, but like no one was expecting McAfee to put on a performance that he did for this matchup, which is great. And as you said, he was still selling on his own show, so which is good.
Yep.
Which brings us to the other War Games that opened the show.
The women's War Games match that opened the show. Team Candice taking on Team Shotzi.
Which another point for me too. Towards that victory, there. So Adam, how many was that? Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna rant on this for a few minutes just because I haven't watched it, but everything I've seen and heard, people were shitting on this thing.
Okay.
Brian Alvarez shat on this thing like there's no
Really?
tomorrow.
Really?
So if you don't know, they did a bunch of matchups to see which teams get the advantage.
Okay.
On NXT. 1 week it was the men's, which the Kings of NXT got the heels.
You mean the team antivirus?
Yes, Team Antivirus got the advantage. The heels going into it makes sense. And like I remember when they announced Team Shotzi.
So technically, men's War Games was a heels versus heels because Undisputed Era are always heels.
Yes, they are. They're heels, but they're being cheered and booked as they're going against bigger heels at the moment.
Okay, all right.
So they're the baby face because they're going against other heels.
Right.
More heels.
Okay.
Basically, but the good thing is they are still booking at Undisputed Eras as heels. They're not acting like baby faces.
No, good.
They're heels. They're just leading a little more into the fans like to cheer them though.
All right.
But they're still acting the same way, which is important.
Good.
If this was the main roster, they know they'd be acting
like absolute baby faces.
We're gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then never do it.
I can't. You know, the only person. One thing I'm gonna say about Adam Cole before continue on with the women's.
Okay.
Is this? If anyone could take the standard WWE generic babyface promo and make it good, even though it'll still be a generic promo, it's Adam Cole.
Probably.
I could definitely see him pulling that off greatly.
Yeah.
Like, I could definitely. But anyway, back to this.
Yes.
So when they announced, and they, by the way, these matchups for the advantage were ladder matches. So they announced Shotzi versus, I think it was Raquel.
Okay.
Gonzalez, I think it was. And I'm like, well, obviously it's the heels because you always have the heels. No, Shotzi ended up winning.
All right, so they got the advantage.
I was like, okay, that's good. That's one of the problems that Brian Alvarez had with this matchup because it just logic doesn't make sense. I'm going to disagree with him. I think there's a way of doing baby faces having the advantage logical, but this is not how to do it. He even gives them an example of how you can then set this up, use it to get into that, so the heels have the heat. No, from what they said is when you start off, it was Dakota Kai and Ember Moon. And even when Dakota Kai would get some offense on, Ember Moon would just destroy her, to beating him down. To not only just beating him down, to the point where you feel bad for Dakota Kai.
What the hell?
You know the thing that you want for your babyface?
Yeah, they did for the heels.
The heels are getting beat down. And no matter what, and then you're like, well, it doesn't matter because the baby faces are the ones that are coming in next, so they're going to have the advantage.
Yeah.
So they're already getting beat down. The advantage doesn't make sense. It just means they're going to beat the heels down even more. But on top of that, the baby faces are the ones grabbing weapons every single time and adding more and more weapons, not the heels.
Why are the good guys bringing the weapons?
Now, I understand this from the standpoint, like, you want to make your heels suffer.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is, when you grab weapons and you already have the advantage, it doesn't come off that way.
Not at all.
And you're not portraying it as like, you're not cutting promos. When we get into that cell, that cage, you have nowhere to go but up and out. And if you do that, you lose. We're going to make you pay. No one cut these promos. Or you didn't position that way.
Then why would you?
I think
you could,
I don't necessarily think that the way that would necessarily fix the way they went about it.
All right.
I still, again, will say that it's a way. But you just kind of feel the heels are just feel bad for them. Until eventually it's Io Shirai. Which I don't know how the flow of this matchup worked because they locked her out of the cage so she can't get in.
Once again, I think that if she hasn't already entered the cage because of the rules of War Games, that the match doesn't officially start until all members of both teams are in there.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
I don't know how understands this because they lock her out so she can't go through the door and everything. They beat her up. Indy Hartwell shows up, beats her up, and everything.
Okay.
So the heels can have the advantage. Nope, the heels don't even get an advantage. They're still getting beat up. To eventually Io climbing up the cage with a trash can, puts it over herself, and then dives onto everyone. Which I will say this.
All right, that's cool.
Seeing the photo of Io with a trash can on when I first saw, I'm like, why did someone just put it on her and then they got lost and then she just dove off? No, Io putting it on and then diving and taking it off still seems stupid, but at the same time, for it because it's Io, it kind of makes sense for her.
It should have been a coffin drop. She just turns around and jumps backwards.
But so even that didn't work. They didn't even use that to allow the heels to have the advantage, so you feel there. It's like, but there's even a point where when Io was still out of the cage, Candice had a pinfall attempt, but the ref refused to count because Io wasn't in the match. She hadn't come into the cage yet.
That's true.
But here's the thing. How can she... They shouldn't have even gone for the pinfall anyway because the babyface has the advantage. There should be at least one more heel to come in. So I don't... They didn't know when to talk about that, so I don't know...
What? All right.
Or that.
So this match just became a mess logistically.
Yeah. And then also you have a botch where Shotzi does a dive off of a ladder, I believe, or something, onto Candice, which breaks her arm.
Ooh.
So, and then you have the finish where out of nowhere, Raquel Gonzalez picks up, I believe it was actually Io, now that I think of it.
Okay.
Bombs her in between the two rings and pins her, and it's just there's the finish just comes out of nowhere. So the heels win. The heels that were being destroyed the entire matchup, even when they had the numbers, apparently
get an out of the blue finish.
That's burying all their baby faces. They couldn't get the job done.
Well, I mean. No, I see something that the reason the babyface is lost here. Because they had Io Shirai on their team.
Well
this is what, the second one in a row her team loses?
Trust me, I'm getting there. Cause I was about to go flash back to last month because it seems like a trend for the women's war games. NXT just feels like they gotta sacrifice either all their baby faces or all their heels to one of them. Because last year, Candice and Rhea destroyed full heels when Dakota Kai turned heel on Tegan Nox and wasn't allowed in the ring. And then Tegan Nox wasn't allowed because her knee. When they really just want these two people who just came back from knee injuries getting in a very violent war game matchup.
That's true.
And it's just they completely buried their heels when they couldn't get the job done when they had two extra members. This year, the heels couldn't get the advantage at all, being beat down by the baby faces, only for the baby faces to lose out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm just so you buried your entire baby faces this year. Okay. And out of that, you buried your champion. On top of that.
Yeah. Io Shirai, 2 years in a row. Her team loses.
Okay. And it was only a few weeks ago, we talked about how everyone says WWE has the best women's division. And we proved that wrong.
Exactly.
But we did give some props to NXT for their women's division somewhat. Which then this just kind of goes
and
nope.
then they do this.
Yeah, they do this. I mean, I get it. I agree. I like the fact that they try to do something different when the babyface is having the advantage. Because that's the standard. The heels always have the advantage.
Yeah.
And you're always telling the same storyline where the heels, they have to overcome the babyface have to overcome the heels. So I like that. But this is not how you tell that story.
No.
You give the advantage to the babyfaces, and you find a way the heels find a way to screw them out of that advantage.
They still figure out a way to screw them.
Yeah. And then that way the babyfaces come back, and if the heels do end up winning, they did heel tactics and
it shouldn't be an out of the blue finish.
No. So it's yeah.
Yeah. Well, so the picks As of at this moment, you had 3 correct.
Yep.
And I had 1 correct. Now,
Yes.
I am seeing that that some changes had been made to the process in which the booking was done for War Games. That through the Zop Gaming Constitution, I am going to be appealing to the Supreme Zop Gaming Court that to overturn these results and turn the picks over 5 for me, 0 for you.
Yeah, you can't do that because one, all the judges on the Zop Gaming Supreme Court.
No. There's no such thing as a Zop Gaming Supreme
We
Court.
had this argument already. Are all named Adam, and that the napkin doesn't allow for that. Plus, there's a clause in the napkin.
Oh,
that says-
where is this clause?
It's right here. And do you want me to unfold it?
No. We can never get that thing folded correctly ever again. It's worse than a road map.
Yeah, it is. But section square 4.
Square 4.
What was it again? Subsection 14.
All right.
Side 1 of the napkin.
Okay.
Clearly states that it invalidates the Zop Gaming Supreme Court existence.
Well, yes, but this is the Supreme Zop Gaming Court, which, according to Amendment 14 of the Zop Gaming Constitution, is created and also nullifies the napkin contract.
Which is funny because the napkin contract nullifies Zop Gaming's Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is Zop Gaming.
I know. It's weird. We're gonna have the court system is the Zop Gaming court system is gonna have to end. Don't unfold it. No, God damn. You can never get that back into where it's supposed to be.
I'm still kind of impressed that we got so much stuff on this napkin.
Same here.
Don't
For
even
such a small napkin.
Don't get me started on side 2.
All right, yeah.
That's where the terms get weird.
That's Euclidean math comes in at that point. Anyway, so yes, you, as of right now, on these findings, you have 3 picks correct. I have 1.
Yep.
But we've got more predictions to go over.
Yes, we have some predictions tonight to go over. One next week for TLC.
Yeah.
That we're really gonna care about.
No, but it's just there for picks.
It's just there for picks to see who has the most matches. So who gets to determine one matchup at Wrestle Kingdom's
completely
15th.
They could just say, that they're going to take the winner of the match. So no matter what, they win that match.
No, they cannot do that.
I think that's a great idea.
No, it's not. Basically,
when I win, I'll make that determination.
Basically, what we're going to, whoever has the most matchups gets to pick one match out of the Wrestle Kingdom 15's card, where they get to pick the winner, pick who they think is going to win it, and the other person cannot pick the same person. So for one match, that whoever gets this option picks one match for both people.
Okay, all right.
That's what we're aiming for.
Well, speaking of winning, we need to talk about the ratings this past week. Oh boy!
How Impact Wrestling beat NXT in the ratings, kinda.
From a very specific point of view. If you only take mathematics in a very apples and oranges type of way.
And the sun is at this exact coordinates between...
It needs to be at a 45-degree angle to the equatorial high tide mark.
No. It's 2/3 of the way between England and the United States.
As long as it sits right there.
The Earth is tilted where we're in the summer.
Yes.
And the northern hemisphere is in the summer element, and the southern hemisphere is in their winter. Only that is actually
it'll work perfectly then. But this week the ratings we're gonna go Impact beat NXT by our numbers. We're just gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Impact 750,000 people or televisions aired their product this week globally. Well, NXT had 659,000 sets tuned into that channel in North America. which actually is up from last week
Yes.
by 1,000 people. While AEW comes swinging dick in here, flops it on the table, and they're showing 995,000, up 82,000 from last week. So not the go home show for Wargames
Yep.
does 658,000. The Fallout show from Wargames does 659,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
And NXT and Impact beats them
Yeah, and Impact beats them
globally. But globally. But yeah, it's
this. I'll be honest. This Kenny Omega storyline of working with Don Callis and appearing with Impact
yep.
is a lot bigger deal than I think anyone thought it was going to really be.
But not just that. We now since have learned the extent of this program.
Yes,
because we were booking the invasion and all that. That's not what it currently was planned to be.
No,
it doesn't mean it can't go there. But the original plans were for Kenny to appear on Impact with Don Callis once.
Yes.
And then have a matchup where you'd have the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson come over to have a matchup on Dynamite.
Right.
That's basically the extent of it right now, because Tony Khan, as his viewpoint is, he has to benefit from this thing, not just Impact. Like,
yeah, really, right now it's only helping Impact.
But I mean, from a business standpoint, because he doesn't need more talent to be pulled over. They already have enough.
Yeah.
And if he's using for talent, then the talent that you have aren't going to be. Then you're going to piss those talent off. Yes, you want to bring some of these people over for some dream matchups.
Why not? I would love to see it.
But you don't want to be doing it so much where you're not using your own talent half the time.
Yeah.
But
Moose versus Brian Cage. Actually, that would.
They've already had that matchup.
I know,
Impact.
but.
But so it's just one of those things where
Matt Hardy having a match on Impact again.
It's just one of those where it's we were predicting this thing and everything for a specific reason, but now we know that Kenny is going back to Impact again this week.
Exactly.
And this past week they also, without setting it up for the fact that this was happening, they set in motion in case they wanted to do this, a potential champion versus championship in Impact. AEW World Champion versus Impact World Champion, which is Rich Swann right now. And
Kenny's going to destroy him.
And it's one of those things where it's like, because they basically said where the Lex Express was
sorry, it's not the Lex Express. It's the Omega Trekker.
That makes no sense.
It makes as much sense as Kenny Omega rolling around in the Lex Luthor express train.
And once again, Adam butchers another joke. You were supposed to say, if you don't know, you don't know. You're not cool enough to be. You're not nerd cool.
But what am I supposed to know? I now don't know.
You're an idiot. We covered this. We rehearsed this, and you fucked it up again. Spot buster. Anyway.
I am all about ruining your favorite moments in shows.
That wasn't my favorite moments.
It totally was.
No,
totally was. That's what you told me before we went on the air. You were looking forward to making this joke, and because of my ruining of it, I have ruined your entire evening. I can see it in your eyes. You're crying. I can't believe you're crying.
No. My favorite spot was already covered, where I got to rant about against NXT's Women's Wargames match.
No, you hated that. It hurts you deep inside to talk about the WWE product so badly. But because of your napkin contract, because of that, you have to keep playing the character of being a WWE loyalist.
No, it's actually nowhere on there. On that napkin. I made sure when I filled that napkin out, that it was nowhere on there. But yes, so it will be interesting to see if they actually go forward, because as I was leading up to, where the Alexa Express is, why what they're calling this trailer was parked. Which one?
The Omega Trekker.
The Impact World Champion was not allowed to go where the champ in the area with the champ.
Exactly.
So he had to go around. It was basically a way to set up, if they want to do this. This is the start of the feud.
Right.
The reason why, like, what? I'm the Impact World Champion, and I'm not allowed to go where another company's champion is.
Yeah. Screw that guy.
Like,
this is my home.
Yeah. To set up that storyline.
My house.
And we already talked about how we're there. We haven't talked about, but we've been talking nonstop about the belt collector.
Yes, Kenny Omega suddenly has every belt. You know, he already has the AAA belt.
Yep.
He's got the AEW belt. He's gonna take the Impact belt. He's gonna take the Ring of Honor belt. He's gonna take the Rev Pro belt.
North American NWA.
And the NWA Championship, and then finally appear in New Japan Pro Wrestling to take that 7th belt from them.
From his best friend.
The Golden Lover himself.
Kota Ibushi.
Oh my God, that would be
7
belt. He'd be 7 belt Kenny.
Only to be saying how he needs that belt just to finish his quest and destiny to prove he's the best in the world.
Yes.
To set up. Dun-dun-dun.
CM Punk comes out. As soon as he wins it.
Cult personality blares.
You're like, what? People just start like losing their shit in the audience.
Shit and jerking off. You're
like Japan doesn't even do this, but wow.
It's like...
It's live on air. That dude is masturbating.
No. All of a sudden, it's just like the music hits, and all of a sudden, the Tokyo Dome is just covered in white somewhere. It's just like, what?
CM Punk walks out. Kenny is just like mortified in the ring. Kota Ibushi is like, this is the most. I'm watching this. CM Punk walks out and he's like, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. Just turns around and walks away.
He's just like, he stops where he is because he's not where he hasn't got to the part where he's like,
oh, this is disgusting.
He's like, wow, I didn't realize the Japanese audience were hoping for this.
You know what?
Much.
No,
like,
no, I can't do this. This is
no, I'm done. Sorry, Tony Khan, can't do it.
Nope, not gonna happen.
He said, and then the running joke becomes, I'm not coming back until Tony Khan. You can absolutely assure me that if I walk out on Dynamite, the entire arena won't be all of a sudden become white.
Yeah. I'm not going to be part of that anymore. Nope, not at all.
Nope.
Oh my God.
We just basically talking about that. It was,
So yes, it does look like we're going to get more of this AEW versus Impact going on, and the bridge seems to be Kenny right now.
Yeah, with the Impact, when they aired the show live on Twitch, they averaged about 25,000 views at the peak.
A peak of 25,000
for their average shows. Well, they doubled that for this week for just Twitch.
Yes.
They actually doubled their numbers generally for Access.
Exactly.
Getting to 220,000 or 222, like
we'll say 250.
Yeah, somewhere around there for Access, and then you tie in other numbers that they have throughout the globe. It came to 750,000 globally overall.
Yeah,
so
that's good numbers.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
It's kind of hard to actually say for a fact that they actually beat Impact totals. I mean, NXT's full numbers, because most of NXT, actual NXT, don't have individual TV numbers. I think in the UK they have. It's part of the numbers.
I don't know.
But anyway, it doesn't really matter regardless. But it's still globally, yes, they beat the overall ratings.
They beat the NXT's ratings on North America live.
So. Which is good. I mean, it's good for them. It gets them in there. Though, just be careful. For those of you who tuned in to Impact for the first time in a while, and if you don't enjoy the show, do yourself a favor.
Don't tweet about it.
Don't tweet about it.
Don't.
Because there's a new troll out there
Yeah.
named Kenny Omega,
He will take you down.
and he'll call you a dickwad,
It'll be a V trigger out of nowhere.
and he'll call you a dickwad,
Yeah.
and be happy you're not tuning back in again.
Yeah. Because they don't need you. The collector doesn't need somebody like that to be watching him.
Yeah.
No.
I spent an hour and 45-minute show and wasn't impressed. I won't be back.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's like...
It's basically what Kenny said,
it's
which
like,
is, okay, bye.
Well, you good. You seem kind of a dickwad, so I'm good with that.
This isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure.
Yeah.
But we got to kill. So we do have, the beginnings of an AEW versus Impact going on right now. But we have to kill a rumor. We have to kill it now. WWE versus an invasion from AEW?
Yeah. So
Where did this story come from?
I saw this on a channel called The Sports Entertainer on YouTube.
Ugh.
I've seen a few other videos since, and they are
Super rumor.
no, they're basically just putting shit out there just to pop a headline
All right.
because it's fucking bullshit. This is the second time I've seen them advertise that John Moxley is going to opt out of his AEW contract
Really?
to return to WWE so he can
Right.
win the Royal Rumble and face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the world title, the Universal Championship.
The guy who got so sick of the backstage stuff in WWE
Yep.
that he announced his retirement or told them he was retiring, basically,
Or he's-
stepping away from wrestling to immediately just be like, no, I was going to a different company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Is going to come back.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the whole story that they put it is this, is that now that Vince doesn't see AEW as a big threat to them, to
Yeah.
WWE, he's willing to work with them because if you actually did like an invasion angle, it would help pop the ratings for WWE and set off a huge boom, for wrestling boom, like from the late 90s for the Attitude Era. And it has culminating with a match of Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns. No!
What?
Vince will never do this. Even if you guarantee him the ratings of the Attitude Era,
Yep.
if he's
We're talking like a 5.6 that night.
No. That was not the ratings for the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was averaging about a 7.
Well, yeah, no, that was for like that 1 year.
Yes, but they stayed up there. It was only the last 10 years that Raw has slipped under 5.5 million.
Yeah.
So they were after there they were slowly going down consistently, but nowhere as fast as the last decade.
Not at all.
But Raw always managed to stay in that mid high fives, mid low fives for a long time, and then it started to go down. Every year it was down by like 300,000, like 100,000 fans or so.
And then over and over.
Yeah,
over again.
So
To the point that they're seeing 1.7 for Raw this past week.
yeah, so it's one of those things which just kind of goes to show you that. But if you guarantee him that, he wouldn't do it because it would mean advertising another company outside of WWE.
Right. Which they deny the existence of every other company in the world.
The whole reason why he started calling the WWE Universe to completely isolate it from everything else in the world.
Yep.
And also in his mind is by working with them, it mean that they're on the same level as
That
WWE.
it legitimizes them.
Yeah, and he can't legitimize that.
No.
Especially when his product is in decline and AEW is on the rise.
Yep.
He definitely can't legitimize that because it means they could possibly help pop the ratings well beyond what Raw and SmackDown are doing without them.
Right.
So we always saw what they on the ratings did. NXT invading last year's for Survivor Series did for both for Raw and SmackDown and in NXT. And this year they decided to leave them off that, and their ratings
really just have not helped anybody.
So because Vince can't have acknowledged he can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the super genius that he is anymore. And
But-
you can argue that he wasn't really a super genius. He just happened to get lucky.
But if anyone's really thinking that WWE is going to work with AEW, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Put down the pipe and stop that.
Seek rehab.
Stop it.
Because
Stop it right now.
as Adam picks up his pipe.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right.
What you should really done instead of making the sound effects yourself, you should just gone and found the sound effects
I should have.
and just. Well, you still could. You just have to cut that part out.
Yeah, I'm not going to do
But
that.
that mean you're actually doing work for a change when you edit these things.
Other than the end and the very beginning, nope.
You mean work? Do
Word.
work? Put effort
Look.
into something?
Look, it's an hour and a half program. I don't necessarily I'm not a good editor, okay? I'm not a good editor.
Only if you knew someone who was a very good editor.
Do you have the time to really put some effort into editing the program?
As I was about to say, who has nothing else going on right now.
I mean, now we may need to amend your the napkin. We may need to make some amendments to that. We'll also discuss when that's part of the entire court case.
which is fine. We can completely amend the napkin, but just so you know, on the first clause on square one of the second side of the napkin, before shit is weird,
Before the Euclidean math really
Yeah.
takes over.
it clearly states that any amendments to the napkin that need to be negotiated come at a 600,000% increase in pay.
I mean, yeah, I'll agree to that one.
On top of what's already owed from those AEW checks that you keep getting.
No idea what you're talking about.
Sure.
This podcast still has no revenue at this time.
Sure, as you're tucking away that gold necklace.
What?
Hey Adam,
What?
you're not wearing glasses. Did you get contacts, or did you go all out and get LASIK?
What? Huh? I can't hear you.
You should probably use some of that money to get your hearing checked.
What?
Fake.
Huh? All right, let's get to our predictions. We'll close out the show with our predictions over 2 shows here. Which one do you want to do first? Final Resolution
Let's do
or
Final
Ring of
Resolution.
Honor?
Let's do Final Resolution.
Final Resolution. I have the card here.
Okay.
So this clearly is not going to be the one. Sorry, Final Resolution. There we go. I've got it up now. That's what she said. So let's go ahead and start this off. This is directly from Wikipedia. So it starts off with the singles match for the Impact World Championship, where Rich Swann will be taking on Chris Bay. I like that. That really works there. So who's walking out?
Impact champion Rich Swann.
Rich is going to be walking out, still holding that championship, and
Just won it at Bound for Glory.
yeah, I have to agree with you because I like the idea that they're actually setting up a battle between Kenny and Rich down the road a little bit.
Yep. It makes less sense to set that up
Then just
and then to
dump
change
the championship over to Chris Bay.
and then have to start all over again.
I mean, if they really, it's just Kenny doesn't care who it is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even care that it's the champion. He's just like, no, you don't come around my trailer.
Yeah.
You don't come around the Omega Trekker.
Lex Express.
It's not the Lex Express. Lex Luthor has nothing to do with pro wrestling. I mean, seriously. Anyway, next match is a singles match between Ethan Page and Carl Anderson. If Page wins, the North will earn a future Impact World Tag Team Championship match.
Carl Anderson's going to win because Ethan Page's contract ends on December 30th.
Well, I'm saying Carl Anderson wins because I want to see, as part of the AEW versus Impact feud, if you will, The Good Brothers take on the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Champion versus champion. No belts on the line.
Well, of course not.
This is just a start. It should be presented for the longest time, all the way up to about a quarter of the way into the match.
Yep.
That it's a friendly competition between two pairs of friends.
Yep.
People that knew each other, they work together, they too sweet each other in the ring. It's great time until a quarter of the way into the match when the Young Bucks go, "Oh, no, we're not putting up with your shenanigans either." And immediately both teams are like, "Fine.
Yeah.
We're going to push it to the full edge."
It will be interesting to see, but yeah, I think it's going to be Carl Anderson.
Okay. So the next up is a tag team match. Havoc and Nevaeh versus the Sea Stars. Ashley Vox and Delmi Exo.
I'm going to go with the first one.
Havoc and Nevaeh?
Yes, because I've never heard the other two.
Well,
Even somewhat following Impact, I still have no clue who those women are.
you know what? I'm going to go with the Sea Stars because they have a tag team name. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Okay. So next up.
So we can add another loss to Adamson.
Probably. or I finally get a one up on you.
You have to make up.
I have
three.
to get two more here.
You have to get 3 total to
Take
more than me.
Take the lead.
No, you need 3 more to tie me. You need 3 extra.
I need 2 to tie you. I need 2
Yeah,
wins to tie you.
You need 2 to
I
tie
need
me.
3 to take the lead.
So that's a lot. It's still possible because we
Yeah.
have 2 shows this week. Next week we have TLC.
Exactly.
Then we add up all the matchups, wins, and then we go. We know who wins.
Right. All right. So the next match is a singles match for the Impact X Division Championship. It's Rohit Raju versus To Be Determined.
I'm gonna give this one to you first.
Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna have to take To Be Determined. I always feel good with taking the one that isn't there yet.
To Be Determined really seems like the right one. This is a tough one because I normally say To Be Determined. Yes, no. To Be Determined always wins.
Mm-hmm.
This one's tough. Yeah, I have to go with To Be Determined on this one.
Oh,
I don't want to go. I'm not willing to risk it on this one.
all right.
I can definitely see him winning. Not To Be Determined to win. But at the same time, I can kind of see him doing it. Because the kind of storyline that they're doing is TJP. He can no longer challenge for the X Division Championship because he lost to a match. He got another shot as long as he's champion. I can see To Be Determined winning the championship
And immediately.
with help of TJP, so he can eventually get a title shot again.
Fair enough.
I can see that happening.
Fair enough. I mean,
Um,
it's a way to work the rules.
Yep.
All right. So
Or I
then-
could see him doing a Dean Malenko where he puts a mask on.
and wins.
Yeah.
I still like Dean Malenko where what is it?
Guerrero was
Yeah.
final in the Battle Royal.
They both looked at each other
Shook
and
his-
Guerrero shook his hand and jumped out of the ring.
And then when he pulled his mask off, and
Everyone's like, "What is this?"
and then everyone saw it was Dean Malenko, and everyone freaked the
the
fuck out.
WCW fan base just erupted.
Which, if you didn't know, Jericho was going to be a future world champion, where he worked a fucking program all by himself because
Yes.
Dean Malenko was out with the death of his father.
Yep.
And to help book it, he did the whole thing on his own. Shows you how talented he was.
Yeah, already. So, next up is the match between Larry D and Tommy Dreamer. It's an old school rules match, aka a hardcore match. If Dreamer wins, Larry D goes to jail for the attempted murder of John E. Bravo. If Larry wins, he walks away a free man. So this is the ridiculousness that Impact that I enjoy. I love the fact that they're like, no, that's ridiculous, and we're gonna turn this skid of a ridiculous storyline into a drift.
Yeah.
Turn into it and floor it because they're going full force on this one.
I'm going not with Tommy Dreamer. Whoever the actor,
Larry D.
Larry D.
I am going to go with Tommy Dreamer on this one. Just in case.
Just in case.
Maybe I can get an extra get an extra win over you. I don't know. That's just okay. Anyway, next up is a singles match for the Impact Knockouts Championship. It's Deonna Purrazzo with Kimber Lee taking on Rosemary with Taya Valkyrie.
I'm going with Deonna Purrazzo to retain.
I am totally agreeing with you on this one.
You know why you're agreeing with me a lot?
Why?
You're just trying to ride my coattails to get victories.
I've only agreed with you 3 times.
Exactly.
Out of 6 matches.
Exactly.
And you agreed with me once.
That's because I cannot go past my
To be determined.
Yeah, I just can't get past it for that matchup at the moment. I just really can't.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with that you picked it first. It's I actually gave you the option to go first.
So next up is a singles match between Eric Young with Joe Doring versus Rhino. Eric Young versus Rhino.
Yeah, I know. That's a tough one. I'll have you go first on this one.
I am choosing Rhino.
Yeah. It's a good choice.
Rhino with a spear to everything.
Yeah.
It's a gore.
I'm going to go with Eric Young.
But you're saying that Eric Young is going to outthink Rhino in this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He has a new bodyguard who's...
Joe Doring.
Yeah, so...
Doering.
I can see him coming into play, but I could be wrong. But I'll take the risk on this one.
Okay. So next up is a intergender tag team match. It's Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K versus Alicia and Eddie Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have, Tim?
I'm going with the Edwards.
Oh, Alicia and Eddie Edwards?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to go with Team A&E.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take, you know what? Caleb with a K and Tennille Dashwood.
Trust me, I wanted to go with Tennille Dashwood. It's Tennille Dashwood, but I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be
I'm going to take Team TK.
I'm going with the Edwards. Team Edwards.
Team Edwards. Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm Team Edward.
Oh, I hate you.
Yeah,
I hate you so much.
Had to pull a Twilight Joe in there for that.
I am Team Van Helsing in that situation.
All right. Anyone is smarter than Team Helsing in that one.
True. All right, and the last match on this card is a singles match. Kara Hogan will be the special guest referee, and Tasha Steelz will be the special guest ring announcer. Whoever wins the match will receive a sum of cash stolen from them by Hogan and Steelz. What? Okay. Anyway, Hernandez is taking on Falaba.
Hernandez?
Holy crap, Falaba is big.
Yeah, I know.
He's a big boy.
I'm going to go with Hernandez.
Hold on. Let me just... Hey, you know what? There's one consequence of this AEW TNA, AEW Impact thing.
Yep.
That I did not see. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that LAX can get back together.
Yeah.
I just did not see that. Anyway, yeah, I'm going Hernandez.
See, you're agreeing with me so you can get more wins. After my utter dominance over you at Takeover Wargames, you're just picking...
You got 2 more right out of 5.
That's 2 more right than you did.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
Wait. There are... No, sorry. Never mind. I did a weird scroll. That was my bad. I did a weird scroll, and I thought I saw more matches. Which would have really confused me because there were 9 matches on that card. A lot of matches.
All right, so now we're going to move on to Ring of Honor's Final Battle.
Which has more matches on it.
Has more matches here now. Now they have lost one of their matchups
Oh, no.
because this pay-per-view was recorded last night and will be airing next Friday.
We do not know the outcome of any of those matches
No,
at
we do
this
not.
moment.
Because this is recorded. That's how they were doing it. It even says that they're advertising that they're recording it. They recorded it yesterday, and the matches are the pay-per-view is airing. Obviously, we don't want to know the results because
Nope.
well, anyone to know the results because it's a pay-per-view.
Right.
Oh, by the way, they are offering the first hour of this pay-per-view free on YouTube. And
Very awesome.
in other areas there, but I've saw that thing. But the matchup that is no longer partaking is EC3 versus Jay Briscoe because of COVID concerns. There's a few people who were tested, I guess, who came in for the show.
Yeah.
And there was concerns. Necessarily guaranteed anyone was had it.
Yeah.
But there was enough of concern between a bunch of people, with EC3 being one of them, where they had to pull him from the show.
All right.
So
All right. These things happen.
And it was supposed to be a grudge match between EC3 and Jay Briscoe.
Which just means it's going to be stretched out for a little longer.
Exactly. All right. So our first matchup, which apparently, according to this,
Yes.
is on the pre-show,
Okay.
is Tony Deppen versus LSG versus Josh Wood versus Dak Draper. A four-corner Survivor match, a shot at the RHO World Television Championship later in the show.
The RHO? You mean the ROH?
ROH. Hey, don't mock
Television title?
don't mock my dyslexia that I don't actually have.
Dyslexia.
This dyslexia.
Okay, so who's in this match again?
Tony Deppen versus LSG, Josh Woods, and Dak Draper. I'm going to go with Josh Woods because he's the only one that has a link on Wikipedia. And yes,
Damn you.
It's been a while, but this is how we do this when it comes to shows like Ring of Honor. If they don't have a profile, we usually pick.
I have to go with you. I have to agree with you on that one then, because I cannot break that rule either.
Now, I will agree that this is not you dabbing on to me
No.
to get wins, because it is a rule that's been well established long before this. And I'm now looking up the cards so he can see which ones have profiles.
Damn. Yeah, I got to get in this one quick.
Now, the next matchup on the pre-show, apparently, is Fred Ye and Wheeler Yuta versus the Foundation, Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus, in a Pure Rules tag team matchup. The first ever Pure tag team matchup.
Okay.
And they actually had the rule. They actually released the rules for how the Pure Rules work for tag team matches, which actually I like that they're really expanding on this whole Pure.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if eventually they decide to add a Pure tag team championship, which I think would be kind of cool. Because one of the things that if you don't know about the Pure Rules, each person in the Pure Rules has 3 rope breaks. After those are used up. If you get to the ropes,
it doesn't matter
anymore.
anymore.
Matter. Now, for the tag team, if you coming in and interfering and stopping a pin break count as one of your team's rope breaks.
Ooh. So you have to know when to use it.
Not just that, but also if you come in after that, after all are used up, it's a disqualification.
Ooh. Okay.
So
I can see heels using that.
It was a really well thought. I liked it. So Adam, who do you pick?
I'm going to have to go with the Foundation on this one.
Yeah, that was the one I was looking at because Wheeler Yuta has no profile link.
Now that's not necessarily, but my rule on that was they have a name.
Yes.
They have a tag team name.
That was also where I was going, but I was also going off the fact that out of the 4 people, one full team, both competitors, have a link. So I'm going to go with those guys.
And then we have the third match.
Yes. Brian
Damn
Johnson versus, how do you pronounce that?
Danhausen.
Danhausen will get, and Danhausen wins, he gets an ROH contract if he wins. Danhausen.
Damn you. I am also agreeing with you on this one. Danhausen as well.
And of course, he'll lose here, and they'll do a different way to get him a contract.
Of course, it'll be Flip Gordon
no,
situation.
No. It'll be a WWE situation. He lost, but he was so impressive that we're still going to give him the contract.
Of course, it's just not that same exact contract.
It's just going to be like
It's not $1 million contract. It's only $500,000 a year.
Just like if Shane beats the Undertaker at WrestleMania in a Hell in a Cell matchup, he can run Raw. Oh, he didn't win?
Well, he'll run SmackDown instead.
We'll still give him to be part of WWE.
No, they had him be the GM for SmackDown instead.
This was before they announced it.
Oh God.
People were predicting that they were going to then could use this in a way to bring back the brand split, which they at the time had no plans to do, but they did.
But then they did it anyway.
But it was like him having some say in WWE again. All right, so the next matchup is a grudge tag team matchup. The OGK, Matt Taven, the Original Kingdom, as that stands for.
Ah, okay.
Mike Bennett and Matt Taven versus the Righteous, Vincent, and Bateman with Vida Von Star.
Vida Von Star.
Vida Von Star.
Yes.
So we have two teams with two names, actual tag team names. Vincent has a link, but the Original Kingdom. I'm going with the Kingdom.
Their tag team has a link.
Yes. Also, they actually just reunited, so I'm going with the Kingdom anyway.
All right.
That's why I'm going with them.
I'm having to agree with you on the grounds that their tag team has a link,
as well as the two opponent members of the team.
Yes. While Vincent on the Righteous is the only one.
Yeah.
No, we're just gonna have to go with OGK here.
Yep. The next matchup is Dragon Lee, the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, facing off against the winner of the survival match.
You mean James Woods? I mean, not
Josh
you mean
Woods.
Josh Woods?
That's who we're predicting.
I mean, it could be James Woods. James Woods out of nowhere with a steel chair.
Now, the interesting note here is, I've heard rumors that like Bambito, Dragon Lee, and Roosh were all not happy when TV came back and they weren't being used. I mean, that was because they were focusing on the pure championship tournament.
Right.
But they weren't being happy about being used. Their contracts were coming up, so there was talk about them not resigning. I don't know for a fact about that, but I'm gonna go with a new champion, whoever the challenger is. My prediction will be Josh Woods, but it's whoever the winner of the survival four-way.
Okay.
Will be the winner, the new Ring of Honor champion. That's what I'm predicting.
Well, I am choosing Dragon Lee in this situation.
I probably should go with Dragon Lee, but I think it's gonna be. I don't even know if he's leaving or not or anything, but I think he's had a really good run. That. All right. So the next matchup, the Foundation, Jay Lethal and Jonathan Grissom versus Mark Briscoe and PCO for the World Tag Team Championship. I'm gonna leave this on for your hands, Adam.
We have the crazy team of Briscoe and PCO.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. With against the team of Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham. Oh, this is tough, especially with Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham going in as champions. You know what? I'm going Foundation.
Yeah, I'm going with Foundation too because Jonathan Grissom, they did a big thing with him being the first pure championship since in years. So,
okay,
him being a double champion, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna predict them too. The next matchup is Jonathan Grissom defending the Pure Championship in a Pure Rules matchup against Flip Gordon.
Flip is gonna win here.
He's going with Flip. I'm going with Jonathan Grissom because it's his first title defense, and they're not going to take the belt off him on his first defense.
I'm all about the Flip Gordon.
So am I, but I don't see them putting
book
the belt
Flip. On. Hashtag book Flip.
Remember, Flip is a heel now, so
I don't care. I don't care, man.
I hope Flip wins, but I don't think they're going to put the belt on him. But Flip does need to win some gold.
Yeah.
Not in that 6-man tag gold. I'm talking some singles gold. And then in the main event, you have World Champion Rush versus Brody King. I'm going with Rush. Because even if Rush was leaving, Brody King I don't see as a world champion.
Well, I am also going to make a prediction here. Rush wins the championship.
Or he is
the Canadian band comes out of nowhere. No, that guy going into the ring is Rush. The band Rush comes to the ring and wins the championship. All two of them with a hologram of the third.
God. And it's jokes like that is why no one listens to this fucking podcast.
Hey, no, it's my jokes about Owen Hart.
That too.
That's what ruins it. That right there. It's not my jokes about Bret Hart.
What jokes about Owen Hart? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, do you know who's going to be challenging Rush for the belt afterwards? Owen Hart.
God. Yeah, I set you up for that one.
Yes, thank you.
I know. At least it wasn't Chris Benoit.
That is all of our predictions.
Yeah, because I think there was another match that was taken off because of the 6-man tag team championships.
I had written down 10 matches on this card.
How many are there?
8.
Yeah, I think it was the 6-man tag team were the other people who were taken off then. So I was wrong. There was another matchup that was affected this card. Because all the championships were supposed to be defended.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so all of our predictions for this week, for tonight's show, and next week's Friday show, which Adam demanded we predict this week because by the time the show would go up next week, the match would already happen.
Exactly.
Even though we've put shows up on the floor because
I've accidentally put shows. We've recorded before, and I don't feel that we would have recorded and had it. Whatever. We took care of the predictions now.
In other words, Adam's sheer laziness to try to make sure the show went up beforehand.
Exactly. What? I'm not allowed to do that?
No.
Come on.
But what else we got on the docket there, buddy?
That is it, sir. The show is finished here and now. Ladies and gentlemen, wait, no, I don't do the closer.
Wait. We're done? The show's over?
We're done.
No more show? This is the last episode?
No, this is not the last episode.
Well, I guess the show's canceled. At least I can finally throw that napkin out.
That thing has been taking up so much room in your wallet.
Why did that thing? How thick it is when it's folded up, even though it doesn't not the same way before. I swear every time I fold it back up, it gets thicker somehow.
I don't know how that happens.
Neither do I. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down in the comment section what you thought of our predictions. What do you thought of Wargames, especially the women's Wargames matchup? Do you agree with everyone of saying how weird and illogical that booking was? Were you impressed with Pat McAfee? McAfee's performance and hit the men's War Games. Do you think Impact beating NXT in the ratings globally is a big deal or not? Do you want to see more AEW and Impact working together? Let us know all that stuff down in the comment section, plus your own predictions for the two shows that we just predicted ourselves.
I want to see those predictions, guys.
And make sure you let Adam know that he's going to lose so bad that by the end of this, even his TLC predictions, if he crushes me next week, won't be enough for him to win.
Shut up, Tim.
Never. And since you're going to comment, and before you go down there, it's right there. Hit that thumbs up.
Thank you.
It made it sound like you were going to do a sound effect and did nothing, and it sounded like nothing. You did nothing.
No.
I never do it. You always do it.
Nope. I do not do a sound effect for the thumbs up.
You've had the past, and
you've made fun of me every single time.
Yes.
So I just sit here and I give a thumbs up.
Yeah, but you made it sound like you were going to make a sound effect. Anyway, thanks for giving us that thumbs up. You're awesome. And since it's right next to that thumbs up, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Ding!
Ring that bell.
Ding ding.
That is not how you do the ding ding.
Ding, ding. Is that better?
No, that's more of a dong.
You're a dong.
We're not doing the Undertaker's dong here.
You and the Undertaker's dong can go to a different room, okay, man? I don't need to hear about that. I am not rejecting your life choices. I am here to affirm and lift you up.
If I had the
Shit. I fell into the same category.
If
I
I
was
had
talking about lifting you up when you're playing with while you're dealing with the Undertaker's dong. That's just, okay, you know what? Let's move on. We're moving on.
If I could play with the Undertaker's dong, you know you'd be right there with me. Because it's the Undertaker's dong. You're like...
I don't really... I'll cheer you on from another room, bro.
No, you
like,
would.
you got this.
Anyway, make sure you turn on notifications to let us know that you want to hear us talk more about the Undertaker's dong.
Yeah, check out any of the other shows going on this week. I don't always... Mondays, I know, are Assassin's Creed. In the upcoming future, we're probably going to have Assassin's Creed Valhalla coming up. Maybe some other games coming out. Who knows?
Yes. So make sure you hit all notifications so you know when all other Zop gaming content goes live. You know what, Adam?
Yes. Yeah.
Don't let me in, please. Please don't let me in. And that's a reference to your stupid Fiend T-shirt that you have on. And your stupid face.
Wow. Just
get bent.